Hi. Now, having recently built that little Matchbox Canberra, I find myself getting slightly interested in the aircraft. Not too much, but enough to get myself a 148th one, and I saw this one. I've never had one or looked through it, so I thought I will do that now on video, and we'll see what this one is all about. Quite a big box and a huge decal sheet. Now this one I don't feel the need to do in South African markings. I don't have any particular markings in mind, other than I guess just choosing a nice scheme. Now this has got RAF, Argentine, another RAF, Australia. Very nice set. The Australian one would be slightly interesting, but it's not the most attractive of decal options. I guess RAF might be the choice. Big thick book. A very nice sheet of color schemes. Camouflage or not camouflage. So the one is black and grey, that's that one, or 3 camouflage schemes. No particular choice right at this moment. But what I am keen to see is the quality and molding of these parts. So let us have a look here. I do also like the fact that it's rather large. Now today, at least over the South Island, but I think over the North Island as well, we had the Hercules doing their farewell fly past. So the Air Force is retiring their C-130s, and they did a little bit of a fly past. 3 of them flew up and over many of the towns and cities and areas. So I might be headed to do a C-130 again soon. So let us see if I can just do this without losing anything up here. Okay. And do I have a clipper? This little clipper that I've got in the garage is not the best, but I just want to separate these 2 fuselage halves. Okay. Now it's recessed lines, very nice shape, and this one has got that glass nose, which I really do like, and it has the symmetrical cockpit. So it's a lot better looking than the other one I did. It's not a lot of lines, and the engraving is sort of medium. It's not bad at all. So there you can see it's not a whole lot of lines. Good enough. I mean, it's absolutely nothing like the Shackleton. The Shackleton is just loaded with panel lines and rivet lines. Somewhat of a thickish plastic. Actually very thick, to be honest. But not warped. It looks good. Obviously I can't tell right now exactly, but it looks to be a pretty good molding. Now that is roughly about 41 centimeters long. Quite a full bit of cockpit. Not a lot of clear parts, but you know, good quality, nothing wrong with that. And big plus, no panel lines, sorry, no framing lines to do, so no masking, or very minimal masking. It's got the nav lights in clear, and there's another clear panel which I can't tell where that would actually go. There must be something under there. Where is that? Must be that. So it must be that goes around to the other side. Okay, it has undercarriage bays molded. Now that I do like. That is very good. I can see some warping on the, you see on this piece here, you can see that warping, but that is a very thin piece and that's very easy to correct, so that's quite understandable, not a problem at all. We have got those tip tanks there, doors, undercarriage doors, air brakes. Now I don't know if those air brakes, why they have holes in them but only partially. Interesting. Okay. The rudder has got a lot of engraved lines on it. That's this one. Pilot figures are okay, that's them there. Now I must say that the layout of parts and the nature of the model when you're looking at it and unpacking it, I find a lot more appealing for this. And I don't know what year this is. I don't know if it's going to be marked on the box somewhere. We can look that up afterwards. I don't know what year this was released, but there's a substantial difference between the more modern Airfix and the nature of how they've broken down the parts and presented them. It's almost like this is a whole lot more conventional. Now those wheels are very, very nicely molded, and they've got tire flattening. And the tire flattening looks to be very, very correct. You know, not overdone. That is a very nice molding of wheels. With two options. Okay, and there's more of those. I don't know about these perforations. For lightening of those. Now the only downside of that is that the other side, which you won't easily see now, does then contain slight depressions due to the cooling process of the part that has got so many holes on the other side. But easy enough to correct that. We've got the nose bay. Not a whole lot of detail in there, but one can sort of improve that quite a bit. The doors are thick, so these nose gear doors are sort of almost normal plastic thickness, substantially too thick for a realistic presentation, but it's okay. You can live with that. A sprue of weapons. Now on this model, despite me normally liking clean aircraft, I don't know if any of these show the weapons on board. No, I I could be open to actually putting all of them on, as much on as might fit. Well, how much of this goes internal? Is this all internal? Surely it does carry some under the wings. I'll have to look up. It doesn't show anything under the wings, so let's just have a quick look. Okay, so some do go under wings and some go internal. So you can actually make quite a full load. And I think that might actually look quite nice. Although the Canberra has got very nice clean lines. I just wanted to show that. So that is one of the Bombay doors with a lot of line detail on it. I'm not sure if the real one would have even more on, possibly. And there's the other one on this one, more weapons. Stores, I should say. Oh, okay. I did not know that. So this piece here, does that mean that one of the variants of this thing has 4 guns in the nose? Let's have a quick look and see if I can see that. I am keen on the clear nose though. But I just want to see, so where does that part go then? What exactly is that? Oh, okay, it's a gun pod underneath. So that's that. Now which variant used that? Does that show on here? Yes, it does. That is that black piece under there, containing 4 large guns, which I assume would at the very least be 20 mil cannon. Does it actually say here? There's a version with 20 mil cannon. This is not a very big write-up. I will have to go and read up about this particular version, which is B2, B6. So there's that option of that pod underneath. I'm not sure if that will detract by breaking the lines of the aircraft too much. Anyway, and the wings. So not a huge part count, 2 sprues of stores, external stores. Now the flap internal detail, so I'm guessing those other parts must have been perforated internals on the flap. Would it? But does that mean that you can cut these? And actually, I mean, that would look not bad. Dropping the flaps, doing a little bit of external work. And these wings look... Now, I'm not very knowledgeable on the Canberra, but these wings look like the wings with more chord. They're the more stubby wings, so same wingspan, but much wider wings, I think. I'll go and read up on that. Warping, no. No, these wings look like very good moldings. Surface detail, not a huge number of lines. They maybe could have done a little bit more, but it's totally fine. It's actually looking like a very, very good model. Okay, a little bit of box damage on this this edge there. It is very thin, and hitting against the side of the box has damaged that. So just have to be very gentle with that piece, not lose the bit that has already, there's a bit that's bent and there's a bit that's bent right over, which will possibly be lost, so I must just not let that get further damaged. So okay, yes, I will do weapons stores. I do rather like the look of those bombs. Those also look pretty good. There's not much that you can do on engines. You've got the intake and the exhaust. The wheels are very nice. Oh, I didn't look at the undercarriage legs. Okay, so undercarriage legs is there. They are sort of average. I don't know how much detail there really is. They're molded well enough, but they don't stand out as having a ton of intricate detail on them. But I do really like the wheels, and a bit of tread pattern on them as well. So undercarriage down, we'll have it standing on its legs, on its wheels. Stores, obviously this will need a lot of nose weight. And a nice color scheme. And of course, spending a little bit of time on the cockpit. They've got molded on instruments there, instrument detail. The number of sink marks that I've observed is not great, so it actually looks like, you know, almost the best of the pre-red box era. Yes, there are sink marks on the main moldings, not big. So always when you've got opposite to these thicker pin areas is where you look for the sink marks. They're not everywhere. Luckily not on that rear section. Not there. Slight one there. Biggest one I notice is there. And not underneath. So that's actually not bad at all. So it is looking like a model that does not require tons of fixing, and you can just tell by the evenness of the molding that it will be a good join. Just a very surprisingly thick. I guess there's sort of some ideal thickness that lends itself to having molds that don't warp. I don't know, or if it's only related to the cooling process. But that is looking very good. It's not often that I actually get that excited by an Airfix. I like my old Airfix, and new Airfix are very nice models, but this is sort of the in-between. This is much better than the old Airfix, but it's not a new Airfix. I don't know if, do they have this? So this is, it is marked Hornby, so it's after Hornby bought them. But date-wise, there a date? These decals, I must say though, one thing about them, you know, when you hold them up against the light and you get that reflectivity of them, especially when you're viewing them in your hand, you can tell the carrier film thickness. And I can tell you these are very, very thin decals. So at least they're new, but they're very, very thin. So you still need to be careful putting them on, especially the very large ones. But it's not to say I'll be using that particular version. Very, very well made decal set, but surprisingly thin. And is there a date on here? Even says made in China. I am not seeing a date. I'll have to look that up on ScaleMates. Anyway, the box art, of course, is almost the weakest part of this kit. You know, all the different phases that Airfix has gone through with its box art. This is, I would not say one of the most appealing pictures that I've ever seen to make me want to build a model. Definitely not. But I'm very happy I bought this. Very good. Okay, so next step will be de-spruing this and start to look. I mean, I'm not setting it up to break the schedule of what I have already scheduled, but I do often like to, you know, de-sprue and start getting more and more familiar with what I'm going to be doing on this kit. But I think I will actually watch a build video online, see what I can find, who's built this. I'm sure it must be one that has been covered by a number of modelers. And I'll look up on ScaleMates. But highly recommendable. If I was going to give this a rating, to be honest, I would say, you know, at least an 8 out of 10. Very, very impressive. Maybe even a 9 out of 10. Okay. Happy modeling. Cheers.